Hi guys, Callie here from Shaker's Family Farms. Today we are getting our incubators ready to put our eggs inside. So right now it's sitting at 98.9 degrees Fahrenheit and about 50% humidity. We want it to say 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit and about 40% humidity. You want to make sure that you put another thermometer in as well. So I use this one here. So I put this one in, and it's just so that I have a backup because sometimes there's a little bit of error with this one. So I put this one in just so that I can check both of them, make sure that it is at that temperature. When you first place your eggs inside the incubator, you want to make sure it is at that exact temperature and humidity for the first week. So the first 7 to 8 days is really crucial for the embryo development in the egg. And so we have our eggs here. We have an automatic turner that we're going to use in this one here. And so I put them on here, and I'm just going to let them warm up to room temperature. So if your eggs are cold, you don't want to put them in a hot incubator because it'll build condensation up, and then therefore it'll wash off the bloom. And you don't want to wash off the bloom because that's a protective coating that is on the egg to protect it from bacteria. So you want to make sure that it stays on there as much as you can. And so we did go through them. I candled them because you want to make sure that you candle them before you place them inside, just so that if there's any like little hairline cracks you see or anything like that, you can just take them out and you don't put them in, because then that could risk bacteria getting inside. So what we did is we just laid them out on here. I didn't want to overcrowd the turner, so we kind of spaced them out a little bit, just so that it just gives them some more room. But this one here will actually churn the eggs for me so that I don't have to go in there and churn them a couple times a day. This one will do it all for me. So once they're in here for about 8 days, you want to make sure you take them out and candle them. I usually wait about 9 days is what I want to do, and then candle them at 9 days, and if I don't see any development with the embryo and it doesn't look like the eggs are going to be good, then I'll toss them. And then we'll put the ones that are going to be good or that show signs of development, we'll put those back inside. You can candle them again at day 14. I do sometimes I wait and I just candle them at day 18. So day 18 is your lockdown day. So they call it lockdown because that means for the last 3 days your eggs are going to hatch. So you want to have the temperature correct, you want to have the humidity right, and you want to shut this, and you don't want to open it after that because you don't want to disturb them. You want them to rest. And so that's one of the other crucial parts of incubation. So the first week is really crucial, but the last 3 days are your hatching days. So you have to be really careful and make sure that you have the temperature and the humidity just perfect for that. So on lockdown, so what I do after I candle them, I put them back in here, and then I'll take them out of here because you don't want them in here because you want them to rest on their side. So in this one here, it has like a bottom with like a mesh bottom on it. So we're going to place them on their side just like so, and then we're just going to let them rest like that. That way then they can hatch at their own pace. Also you want to make sure that you turn the heat up a little bit when it is in lockdown, because we're taking the tray out. So when the tray is in here, the tray is actually kind of more in the middle of the incubator. But when the tray is not in there, the eggs are sitting down here. So they're going to be a little colder, and you don't want that. So just a degree or two could actually kill the embryo in your eggs. So you want to make sure it stays at that temperature, that it's really consistent. That's the other reason why I have this as well, just to make sure I get the right temperature where the eggs are laying. So when you are ready to place them in here, we put the incubator in the laundry room here. And that's just so that it's not in direct sunlight, it's not by any heat registers, it's kind of out of the way so it's not going to get bumped, kids aren't going to be opening it all the time, and it's not by any windows. So that's why it's in here. You want to make sure that it's somewhere where it's not going to be in direct sunlight, because if you're incubating and it's really warm outside, the sun coming through the window, it can heat it up a degree or two, which then could kill the embryo. So you want to make sure it stays at that temperature. And so I'll just show you quickly kind of how I have it set up here. So I have this here. So this, you'll see there's a tray. And I don't know if you can kind of see, but there's actually little grooves, like little channels in here. And that's where the water goes. So you want to add your water in there so that it will make your humidity. So basically you want to add just a tiny bit of water at a time, because if you add too much, your humidity is going to be too high. So I just added a little bit, and you want to use distilled water as well. Distilled water, it doesn't have any minerals or anything in it, so there's no chance of any bacteria or anything getting into your eggs. But if the eggs do have the bloom on them, they should be fine. I'm not too worried about that. You also want to remove any eggs that are black or if they smell, because that's an indication that bacteria has penetrated into the egg. So you'll want to make sure that you remove those as well. Make sure that when you do put them into the incubator that the temperature does say 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And the reason for this is that when you put them in there, you want to make sure that you have them exactly for the first week. So for the first 7 days, you're going to want to make sure that you don't open this. You just leave it. You make sure that the temperature is good, the humidity is good. That is really good because you need that for the embryo development. After 7 days, so usually I go about 8 days, 9 days, I'll actually take them out and I'll candle the eggs. So you want to candle them at 7 to 8 days. Like I said, I do mine at 9 days. I like to leave an extra day just to be safe. And then I candle them. Any of them that don't look like they are actually growing, I will toss them and put the good ones back inside. So you can take them in and out, but not for very long. Just like how a mother hen would leave an egg. So they'll leave their nest here and there throughout the day, and it's okay. It's not going to cool them off too much. And then that's not as crucial as when you get closer to the 18 days. So when you hit day 18, that's called lockdown. And so lockdown is when you actually leave them inside the incubator and you don't touch it. You make sure that the humidity is turned up a little bit, and you make sure that the temperature on this one, I will be actually moving the temperature up to 100, just because at the 3rd day, so when there's 3 days left of incubation, what you want to do is you want to take the eggs out of here and you're going to lay them down like this on the floor of your incubator so that they can hatch. The eggs need to rest for 3 days so that they can get into their hatching position, and then they'll hatch for you. Alrighty, so we're ready to put the eggs inside the incubator. So we're just going to take the top off like so. We have the incubator at the right temperature. So then I'm just going to remove this and just going to set the eggs inside just like so. Okay, just like that. And we're just going to put this back on here. Perfect. Okay, and then I've got a little hole here. There we go. I'm just going to move that cord around. There we go. And that's how we do it. So I'll just show you real quick. So that's what it looks like when you get the eggs inside of your incubator. Thanks for watching.